Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie and welcome to a brand new vlog. I'm back on my quitting my vlog shit and hopefully this is the remedy. During my TBR game, I picked Hemlock and Silver, the new T. Kingfisher fairy tale. And in my new releases video, I was very excited to read Cinder House, which is like a Cinderella retelling. And I went to the library, randomly picked up this book, Uprooted by Naomi Novik. And so many people were like, this book is so good. And I thought, what do these three things have in common? They're fairy tales. These two are stemming from like your basic ones, Snow White and Cinderella. I think these might be original, which is pretty cool. It's a bold new world rooted in folk stories and legends, as elemental as a grim fairy tale. And it's so cool because the book has been loved, this library edition, so it kind of adds to the mystique. And like, yes, it's October, it's spooky season, but I'm not ready to be scared yet. I am ready for some whimsy though. I feel like fairy tales have such a particular feeling. There is like a witchiness to it, but there's also like an earthiness to it, not to sound like a granola mom. And I do just love the feeling. Also, like fairy tale retellings, literally fan fiction. How funny is that? So yeah, that's what I'll be getting up to in this vlog. I am about to hop onto sprints, but I thought I would start Cinder House. It's only like 100 and something pages long, like 150? Where's my phone? 144 pages. So I can definitely get that read today. Probably not all during sprints, maybe. First of all, I like to yap during sprints, but also like if I'm sprinting for 4 hours, half of it is talking, so it's really only like 2 hours, in which case I can read like 60, maybe 80 pages. Anyway, that's the plan. Alright, I am about 60% of the way through Cinder House. I'm using this because my mic is hooked up to my computer for the sprints. But overall, I'm really just enjoying the chill vibe. And I think that's something I really like about retellings, is that it just feels cozy. And it does, there's just something so fall about a retelling, and I don't know what it is. She just made hot cocoa. That's very fall. I think there's also something to be said about the pacing of a fairy tale. It's very slow paced. Obviously, there are some exceptions. I'm thinking about the Cinder series. I don't actually know what this is called. Binged these in like a week. All of them. Maybe even a weekend. My library had them all, and I was like, gimme, 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 gimme. I love them. And I feel like they were sort of fast paced for a fairy tale retellings, but Cinder House is really leaning into that sort of cozy, slow-paced energy. And I think it didn't even really start feeding into the Cinderella lore for a bit. It was kind of going on its own, which I also enjoy in a retelling. Have I not even said what this is about? I'm so sorry. So this follows Ella, who in the very first chapter, we find out has been murdered by her stepmother, evil stepmother for sure. Her father's also been killed, and now she is a ghost. But it's so cool how they've written it because she's attached to the house, and now I'm really understanding why this cover is what it is. It's like her attached to the house. I love a personified house, but every description of the house and how they're connected is just so cool to me, and I think it's really something original. Now this one isn't like acting of its own accord, it's acting as Ella. It's like an extension of herself, or she is an extension of it. I'm not too sure, and I like the muddiness of that. But anyway, only her family can see her. I think because they're the owners of the house, and unfortunately they're allowed to bully her because they tell her to do all these things and all these chores, and because it's to help the house, she has to do it. And her evil stepsister, who is like the worst character like in terms of evil, she has found out that if she hurts the house, if she like smashes a window, it actually causes pain in Ella. Like they're that connected. So she's being horribly controlled and manipulated. It's awful. It's something I hate in every single Cinderella retelling. It's like, damn, why do I have to watch someone be so bullied? It's awful. Also, side note, it's so funny like filming this while like the camera's right here. I feel so watched right now. It's making me like stick to my points though, and I'm not meandering as much because I feel like someone's watching me. But what was I saying? Oh fuck, I lost it. Anyway, we have gotten back onto like the main Cinderella plot, and I'm just loving it. I'm grinning. It's not like my new favorite retelling. We're jumping very quickly, but it's only 144 pages, so don't expect too much from this, but it's quite enjoyable if you don't mind a slower pace, especially at the beginning. I also like that at one point there was like a story that was coming up that another character was gonna say, and instead of telling us or Ella through dialogue, the narrator goes into story mode. straightforward. Like, here's the situation. And I also like it when that happens in shows or movies. I'm thinking like in Glee, instead of someone telling us something happened, they go into like another scene where it actually happened. It just feels like a playful way to do things, and it really feeds into like the fairy tale-esque part of it. It's kind of like when they have little short stories within a book, like in... Oh, I almost ate shit in front of both cameras. But in Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, ow, I hurt my little elbow. In this book, not the second book, I was really hoping it would show up in there as well. Maybe in the third one. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. But there is an entire section where we hear about different fairy tales, like tales of fairies. I think it's like 3 different ones. And that was one of my favorite things in this book. It was so cool and really added to that sort of like... magical, cozy atmosphere. I just can't get enough. So yeah, let's see what other notes I had. Speaking of fairies, there's a fairy character in this book, which I think is pretty cool. All my other notes here are sort of in-depth stuff that I probably shouldn't talk too much about because it's only 144 pages. But there's a lot of detail about like her limitations and magic in this world in general, and it's just fun. I feel like I could sense that the author had fun writing this, but it's one of those books that I'm reading and I'm not thinking about the author constructing it. I'm just having a good time. So yeah, this is going very, very well. And I will see you when I finish it. Also, we have now been sprinting for 5 hours and I've read 83 pages in 5 hours. That's crazy. I have been talking and chit-chatting a lot, but honestly, sprinting has been so fun lately. Obviously, it's annoying when you live in a tropical place without an air conditioner, but bonding and chit-chatting with friends, like who knew that would be so fun? I'm so dumb, but I've been having a blast today. All right, it is many hours later. I had to edit another video, but I finished Cinder House. Also, this is Ruby. She says hi. She's so cute. I feel like I said everything I needed to in that halfway update. Obviously, anything more is going to be spoiler territory, but I will say there was more spice than I thought. I wouldn't think that this had any spice in it. I wasn't expecting it. There was also a twist like I didn't see coming. That was cool. And this ended in a way that I have never experienced in a fairy tale, and I could say that for certain. I very much enjoyed it. I'm giving it 4 stars, and I think it was the perfect length. I think any bit more would have been like, okay, come on, does this story need to be that long? And anything less would have felt even more rushed. But yeah, I think this was a great fairy tale. Very entertaining, very cozy, nothing like mouth-watering. Like, it's not a 5-star, it's like a 4-star, but it's very, very good. I do recommend it. I always feel so weird giving out 4 stars because I clearly enjoyed it, but then I feel like I have to shit on it a little bit. I have to explain why I didn't give it 5 stars, but what can I say? This was a 4-star. It was great. Oh, I did underline a few things because I enjoyed a few of the lines that the author wrote. Ooh, this one was good. She glimpsed the beginning of a slope even more dangerous than that between ghost and haunting. That having tasted the life that came with the shoes, she would do anything for more. I also liked how the author incorporated the shoes because it wasn't just like, oh, this is something that she was wearing. It was very much part of the plot and it made sense. And like, wow, claps for logic. I also laughed out loud because there was a dog that farted. Not even kidding. Ooh, this was cool. For a moment, she missed being a house. This anger craved a larger skeleton. Also, how easily love and fear and hurt could tangle themselves up inside a person. And isn't that the truth? And that's it. I think the synopsis goes into even more detail that I didn't tell you, and I'm just now wondering if I even did a good job summarizing what this book was about, but you get it. Cinderella retelling with ghosts. And a little spice. It's not like in detail spice. It's like a little bit classy. As for what I'm gonna read next, I actually put it up as a poll, and tomorrow I will see what is chosen. I think I checked it an hour after I set it up, and the Tea Kingfisher was winning. We'll see in the morning. We'll see. Ruby, what do you think? I would really like to paint my nails though, so maybe I can work that in tomorrow. We'll see. All right, y'all, it's about 10 a.m. Friday morning. Happy Friday. I am sweating my metaphorical balls off. It is so hot out. Or it's actually really nice out, but it's hot in here. I'm like sweating bullets. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining about the weather, hopefully for the last time this year. But I wanna see how the poll's doing. And look at that, Hemlock Silver has won. So that is what I will be starting today. I know that this is a Snow White retelling, but I think it's being told from a different point of view. I think our main character is Anja, and she's like the sorceress healer. And she's trying to save the princess. But then it also says that Anja finds a secret secret world hidden inside a magic mirror. So is Anja starting off as the good guy but ends up as like the evil in quotation marks stepmother? Is she getting maleficentized? We'll be seeing. I guess I won't be able to tell you in the end, but I just love this cover. I love the green sprayed edges. I saw it in the flesh the other day and I made myself not buy it because I have the e-arc, and that would just be dumb, right? Because I'm trying to save money. I really enjoyed T. Kingfisher's A Sorceress Comes to Call, and this was a retelling of like Goose Girl. I don't even know. It was like an obscure fairy tale, or at least one that Disney hasn't butchered yet. Why am I being so salty? Disney does a great job. It's interesting because I knew nothing about that fairy tale, so I wasn't sure if T. Kingfisher was like doing anything edgy or like making the villain a good person. It felt pretty straightforward and I loved it. So basically what I'm saying is that I have no idea what's coming. Well, I sort of do because I've read Snow White before. Nope, that's a lie. I've seen the movie. It's hot, okay? I need to turn this camera off, but I'm gonna start this now. I'll see you when I get halfway through or before. Who knows? This is why I can never finish my sentences, why I'm like speedily rambling. It's because I'm just fucking hot.
Baby, I tend to complicate things, but this just seems so easy. We're on to something good. Well, trust me, it's hard to find somebody. I've gotten used to running when I ran into you. Now tell me, what am I supposed to do? Ooh, ooh. Now tell me, what am I supposed to do? Ooh, ooh. Well, maybe you'll be the one to save me. I'm getting sick of waiting.
Good morning. Let's crack this open. I don't know how much of the vlog from yesterday actually went through the edit. I was very much in a I really don't want to talk / be perceived at all mood, but I did do my nails. They're really cool. They're like purple, but they're also cranberry to the side. And in the light, there's like a bluish purple. I love it so much. And then I tried to do something funky on this finger. I put on like 3D stuff and I tried to make a jewel and then use chrome. But then the chrome got everywhere, so I tried to make a yin yang sign and then I put glitter on it and then I just covered it in chrome. So it's lumpy, but it's silver. So fuck it. I've never been that bitch to have like one finger different. It feels very 2016, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Just because I know a couple people always ask, let me get the actual nail polish in case you want to get this one. It's by Double Rhythm in the color MC1261. In case you were wondering. Also, it's funny, this looks so fancy, but like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, I did get to 45% of Hemlock and Silver yesterday, and I'm enjoying it. It's funny because I think it might be in the same world as Sword Heart, just because there's different temples. There's like the Temple of the Rabbit. They said Temple of a few other things. And in Sword Heart, we learned about the Temple of the Rat, and then there's all these other ones. And I just love, like, it makes me want to go and read T. Kingfisher from like publication order, because I'm sure there's maybe little tiny Easter eggs that I'm not aware of, but this could actually not be related at all. I will say this is cozier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more like moody. Our main character's name is Anja, and she's like a poison person. She studies poisons, or more so not anecdotes. I study anecdotes. Antidotes. And one day the king comes up to her and is like, my wife killed my daughter, clawing out her heart. They are both deceased, and my other daughter Snow is dying of some sort of poison. Can you come help? Honestly, Anja doesn't really have a choice, because like, how do you say no to a king? I don't know. I've never met one. Though Grant is king of my heart. That was lame. It does say in the synopsis that Anja finds this magic mirror, and so I was wondering, like, is she gonna be the evil stepmother? But then, like, the mother sounded pretty evil. She was trying to, like, stab into this girl's heart, which is very much Snow White coded. So I don't really know what T. Kingfisher's doing, but I trust her. I also like that her characters always have a very specific, intense interest. Well, not always. But, like, in this book, this is probably my least favorite T. Kingfisher that I've read, but I really like the character, and I think she studied bugs bugs. I might be wrong about that, but it was some sort of biological bullshit. Sorry. Respectfully. And I thought it was so cool how much detail T. Kingfisher was putting in. Like, it went over my head, but I found it fascinating, maybe because, like, I know nothing about it. And same with this book. Our main character knows all about snakes because of their venom, about flowers and plants and foods and poisons. And she's really going into a lot of detail, which could be annoying, just a warning, but I find it really cool. It's like very slow paced. It's very scientific feeling. I just got to the part. Actually, it took so long for her to even meet Snow. I thought we'd get right to that point, but Snow seems like a secondary character. And I can't tell if there's gonna be a romance in here, but it wouldn't be surprising. It also wouldn't be surprising if there isn't, and I wouldn't be mad either way. But where I just read, Anja found the mirror. So I am excited for this to become a little bit more magical. It's cool seeing this very scientific person dealing with magic. Also, side note, that's one of my favorite things about editing Allie. Pop this up. I'm sorry. Emily Wilde, she was very scientific in the way that she studied and documented things, but like she was studying magical shit. I think that like combo is so cool. And it's cool to see Anja grappling between science and magic. But I feel like she's gonna probably take a scientific approach to studying the magic. And I don't know, I'm just a sucker. I'm a sucker for nerd shit, okay? I'm hoping some of that made sense. What else did I have to say? I guess that's it. Anyway, I'm gonna probably finish this and give you an update.
Around the corner, I thought I'd seen you. Thought you were looking for me. I thought I'd reached you. I belong here.
Alright, I just finished Hemlock and Silver, also we can test to see. I made the mistake of like brushing out my waves right when they dried. I don't know what I was thinking, but I put a bunch of oil in it and wrapped it up for the last couple hours, so let's see if it looks a little less like Gil from Gilmore Girls. Oh yeah, okay, not bad. Oh, it smells fantastic. Anyway, I finished this book and it's so funny that I was like, can't we just see how scientifically she approaches this magical shit? And we did get that, except for it's not so much about the science of it, so much as the over-explanation of it. I think T. Kingfisher really enjoys solving the problems on page. Because when I think about all of her books, they do this. And it is the point where I get a little frustrated because it's like every little thing they have to work out. You don't want to just be surprised. You don't want a character to be like, oh, I figured this out off page. But then there are some things that don't need to be pieced together on the page. Does that make any sense? So I think this could have been a little shorter without all of that puzzling out. Obviously some puzzling is good, but like a lot of the puzzling out like didn't even get them to an answer. It was just them getting excited about things, which I do love at the same time. So I think I'm just gonna always have this issue with T. Kingfisher where like I love that she does this, but I also hate that she does it so much. I think of her books, I've read Thornhedge. Editing Allie's gonna kill me for this. What Moves the Dead. Oh my god. That's my 5-star T. Kingfisher, and I wonder if I like it because it's like exponentially short. Did I use that word correctly? Probably not. And then I read the sequel, which was just fine. I do have plans to read Paladin's Grace this month, actually. My patrons get to give me a suggestion every month, and this is what the random number generator picked up, and I'm so excited. I also have Nettle and Bone and The Hollow Place on my bookshelf here. So yeah, I have committed to T. Kingfisher. This woman, she's my friend now. I will be reading all of her books. I just love how slow paced they are, honestly. And I know I'm most likely just gonna end up giving them a 3.75, which is what this is going to get. But it's a pleasant time, and I just love how she makes her characters. As for the story, it ended up being a little bit more lighthearted than I expected, but I also enjoyed that. I would say that Cinder House felt like a fairy tale. It felt very nostalgic. It felt like we were being told a story. It felt like it was historically set. Hemlock and Silver, it didn't didn't feel historical, even though it was, I'm pretty sure. It didn't feel like a story being told. It felt very much like, here's a girl, could be right now, we're in her shoes exactly right now. So it didn't give me that fairy tale feeling, but I do like how she played around with the fairy tale Snow White. I think it was pretty well done. Like when I think about the plot, maybe plot's a bad word because there's not much plot. What I feel about the Snow White construction of the story, it's pretty cool. All right, it's 10 days later. I'm finally ready to finish this vlog. And perfect timing because I now have the trifecta of library loans. I have the physical version from the library, and Libby just popped off with the ebook and the audiobook. I've never had this quite complete excursion of formats. I don't even think that sentence made sense, but I'll primarily be reading physically, also while listening to audio. Sometimes that helps me focus more. I have to tidy up a little bit around my house, so that's also helpful. And then I think I've read more ebooks this month than any other month combined in this whole year, or perhaps the last, I don't even know when. I cannot convey enough how helpful it is to have an ebook when you're trying to eat and read at the same time. So my goal is to finish this today so I can get this vlog out to you. When was this published? This was published in 2015. Okay. And look at that. It looks like a fairy tale. Also, I love this copy because it's like, it's well loved. It has some stains, possible mold, kind of adds to the, you know?
I don't wanna say another word unless I'm saying it right, or you're saying it first. I wanna make this last. Don't wanna move too fast.
All right, I am halfway through Uprooted, and wow, it started off feeling almost like a Beauty and the Beast story. Oh, let me keep holding this up. We have our main character named Aneshka. She lives in a small village where there's a wizard dude. They call him Dragon, except he's not a real dragon, he's a wizard. Every 10 years, he gets a village girl and he takes her for 10 years. And at the end of the 10 years, those girls are freed, and they don't seem to say anything bad happened. It's all a bit of a mystery. Her friend has been raised being like expected to be the one that's chosen. I don't know how they would have figured that out. They just decided that she's the most special girl in the land. Anyway, the night has come where the dragon comes down and he chooses. And lo and behold, he chooses our main character, Aneshka. Aneshka goes with him to this tower, and I like this part the best. Just her figuring out her everyday thing. She's witnessing magic. Honestly, that's all the synopsis tells us. It doesn't even say that Aneshka is chosen. It just says when the dragon comes, it's not her friend he will choose. Like, obviously she's chosen. And so I can't really tell you anything else, but that happened and was over with much more quickly than I thought it was going to be, because now this greater thing is happening. This very magical thing is happening. There's traveling, and now there's traveling some more, and it is feeling a little bit Tea-King Fishery in that way. But it's not lighthearted. It's not funny. It is written well. I have been listening to the audiobook the last quarter, I would say, because I had to do some tidying around, and I'm not a fan of the audiobook narrator. I like her accent, but she's talking very quickly, but she's pausing in between most words. It's like da 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 da. I'm so picky when it comes to cadence, I suppose, and it's just really irritating. So I think I'm gonna read the next half, the last half, the second half with my eyeballs, because I can't tell if I'm feeling like distance from the story just because the plot has changed so significantly, and there was just a huge like action-y scene with like magic I don't quite understand, or if the distance is just the audiobook. I don't know, could be a mixture of both, but we shall see. I think I like the beginning because it really did feel like a fairy tale. The wizard himself is very, very grumpy. He's very rude, but also like there is a vibe, you know? I think I really like, what's it called? Like a secluded setting. I just want it to be in one place, and I kind of want to know who the players are pretty much close to the beginning of the story. I don't want some randos coming in left field, or a bunch of nameless, faceless characters, like a horde of people. Still feeling picky, apparently. Guys, I'm like 2/3 through this book, so I've only read less than a quarter. It's been all day. I am not having fun, which is a bummer because I really do like this author. But I've gotten to the point from, honestly, here, like this entire chunk, I've been so clocked out. I don't really care what's happening. I can't see a way that they could make me care. I feel so out of the loop. Not that I don't understand what's happening. It's just like, I don't know. And there's a part of me that's like, okay, well, maybe I should put it down for another 10 days so I don't have to delete this video. I might just put it up as a DNF. Naomi! I feel weird doing that because I've only read this author's Scholomon series, the first 2 books, and I love them. Adore them. Again, that's very isolated in the setting. But yeah, this feels all over the place, and right now it feels rather aimless. Like, what is the end goal here? I don't know. And I am afraid that if I keep reading, I'm going to truly get frustrated because it's not bad. Like, I can very much say that. It's good. It's just not hitting for me. It's doing nothing for me. I don't want to go on because it's going to piss me off soon. What a weird way to end this vlog. I feel like I should read something else to like make it go off on a good note, but I'm ready to move on to something else. And I kind of look like a witch right now. Maybe it's time to read some witchy books. Although that's what this was, isn't it? So yeah, it's kind of a weird way to end this vlog. A vlog that I feel I've had to pry out of me from the very beginning, but I refuse to put it in the trash. Sometimes the books don't hit crazy. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you're ripping through the pages desperate to finish, either because it's so good or so bad. Sometimes you're just like slow pacing, moving through it. And that's what this video was. I feel like I'm not as excited to edit or watch those videos of me because I'm like, Allie, you're supposed to dance, monkey, dance. But hey, this is the reality of the situation, so I hope Editing Allie has put something together here that is entertaining enough, and I'll see you soon for my vampire vlog, which is already filmed, so it's coming. I did get a couple books in the mail today. Got my Aardvark books for October. They weren't supposed to get here till the 25th, but it's the 21st. Might have to get back on my vampire shit. I think it's gonna be funny because the next vlog you'll see, I'm talking about how desperately I want to read this and I can't wait till I get it. And like, you know something before she does. Might be staying up late. I'll see you later. Cut.